I found this tucked in the back of a drawer. And just like that, I was 30 again. The smell, the memory, the weight of time, it all came rushing back. If you've ever held something in your hands and felt your whole past stir, you know how hard it is to let go. These aren't just things, they're pieces of our story. But sometimes, keeping everything means carrying more than we need. Today, I'm not throwing away memories. I'm choosing what truly matters and releasing what no longer serves me. If you've been struggling to part with old letters, photos, or keepsakes, stay with me. I'll share gentle steps to honor your past without getting stuck in it. Letting go isn't forgetting. It's making room for peace. If you've ever opened a box and been flooded by memories, some warm, some painful, you're not alone. A single photo, a letter, a faded birthday card. They don't just remind us of the past, they pull us back into it. Every item seems to whisper, "You can't throw me away." And so we hold on, not just to the object, but to the weight of emotions that come with it. Over time, those boxes pile up, and what was once meaningful starts to feel heavy, mentally and physically. But here's the truth, keeping everything doesn't preserve the past, it clutters the present. You don't need to erase your memories. You just need a way to choose what still speaks to your heart. Today, I'll walk you through how to gently let go, without guilt or regret. It's not about forgetting. It's about making space to breathe again. Today, I'm opening one small memory box from the back of my closet. Just one, because that's all it takes to start. Inside are pieces of my life, some I've forgotten, others I've clung to for years. And like many of us, I've put this off, thinking, maybe someday. But someday has a way of never arriving. The truth is, we don't need to declutter everything at once. We just need to begin. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through a simple, gentle way to sort through sentimental items, without guilt, without pressure. You won't have to throw it all away. Instead, you'll learn how to keep what truly matters. Honor the memories you cherish. And finally, let go of the rest. This isn't about losing your past. It's about reclaiming your space, your energy, and your peace. One small box, one fresh start. Let's begin. Step 1. Choose a small, safe starting point. Let's be honest, sentimental decluttering is one of the hardest things to do. It's not like sorting through old magazines or tossing out expired pantry items. This is emotional work. These objects carry stories, people, seasons of life we thought would last forever. And if you've tried decluttering before and felt overwhelmed, stuck, or even ashamed for not being able to let go, you're not alone. That's why the very first step is not about going big. It's not about being brave or bold. It's about being kind to yourself. Start small. Start safe. When most people think about decluttering sentimental items, their minds go straight to the heaviest memories. The wedding ring of a late spouse, a child's first shoes, a parent's old letters. These are sacred, emotional, and if we try to begin with them, we often freeze. We feel paralyzed by guilt, sadness, or even fear. That's why so many boxes go untouched for years. We tell ourselves, "I'll deal with this another time," and we never do. But here's the shift that makes all the difference. You don't have to start there. Instead, choose something that feels lighter, emotionally gentler, still meaningful, but not emotionally paralyzing. Here are a few gentle starting points. A stack of old birthday cards you've collected over the years. Travel brochures or maps from vacations long past. Souvenir items from events or trips that don't hold deep emotional ties. Notes from acquaintances rather than close family. Duplicates, like extra photos of the same event or person. Starting with these types of items gives you space to practice letting go without reactivating the deepest parts of your grief. Nostalgia or identity. Let me give you an example. A woman once told me she kept every single birthday card she'd ever received, some dating back 40 years. When she sat down to go through them, she realized something surprising. Many of the cards were simply sign names. No message, no memory, no deep connection, just mass-produced greetings. And yet, she had held on to them as if letting them go meant disrespecting the people who gave them. But as she looked through them, she asked herself, "Do I even remember who this person is?" For some, the answer was no. For others, the name brought a smile, but not a lasting emotional impact. So she made 3 simple piles. Keep, let go, maybe, no pressure, just clarity. She ended up keeping just a few deeply meaningful cards, the ones with handwritten messages, the ones tied to special milestones, the ones that made her tear up or laugh. The rest? She released them with gratitude, because she realized she wasn't holding on to the person by keeping the card, the memory, the love that stays in her heart. This is why we start small. It's not just about organizing physical space, it's about learning to trust yourself. Trust that your memories won't disappear if you let go of the object. Trust that you can decide what is meaning now, not what used to have meaning. Here's another way to think about it. If an item brings you joy, connection, or still tells a story that matters to you, keep it. If it brings confusion, guilt, or pressure, maybe it's time to let it go. Starting small gives you a safe space to develop that inner voice, the one that knows when to hold on and when to release. It teaches you that decluttering sentimental items isn't cold or careless. It can be a gentle, loving act, an act of making room for peace, for clarity, for your next chapter. And remember, you're not letting go of people. You're letting go of paper, plastic, fabric, things that have served their purpose. The memory remains. The love remains. You just don't need to keep every physical reminder to honor your life. So if you're starting this journey, start here. Don't pull out the hardest box in the attic. Don't reach for the most emotional keepsake. Start with one small, manageable category: birthday cards, travel mementos, light items. Just one drawer, one folder, one pile. Because decluttering sentimental items isn't just about what you release. It's about what you uncover. The freedom to move forward. The space to breathe. The ability to look at what remains and feel peace, not pressure. You deserve that kind of space. And it starts, simply, with choosing a safe place to begin. Step 2. Create 3 piles. Keep, photograph, let go. One of the biggest reasons we struggle to let go of sentimental items is the fear of losing the memory attached to them. It's not just an old program from a school play. It's the feeling of sitting in that auditorium, watching your grandchild on stage, heart swelling with pride. It's not just a faded t-shirt. It's the summer trip, the laughter, the youth, the life you once lived. And so we tell ourselves, if I throw this away, I'm throwing away the memory. But here's the truth. You are not your things. And your memories live in you, not in your storage bins. That's why the second step is so important. It gives you a practical, emotionally safe way to make decisions without guilt. When you start sorting, create 3 piles. Keep, photograph, let go. Let's break that down. 1. Keep. These are the items that still spark joy, meaning, or connection. Not everything has to go. Not everything should go. If something genuinely makes your heart light up or holds a memory that brings comfort, peace, or pride, keep it. But the key is to keep it intentionally, not by default. Ask yourself, would I want my children or grandchildren to find this and know its story? If my house had limited space, would I choose to keep this over something else? Does this item bring me peace, or does it make me feel stuck? Be honest, but gentle. If something feels deeply important, let it stay. Let it have a purposeful place in your life, not just a dusty corner in a forgotten box. 2. Photograph. This category is a game changer, especially for seniors who want to honor their past without drowning in physical clutter. Here's the truth I came to accept. I don't need to keep the object to keep the memory. Sometimes the item matters, but only for the memory it holds, not for what it physically is. That oversized t-shirt from a family reunion? Snap a photo. That postcard from a trip you loved? Snap a photo. Your child's 3rd grade art project that's been crumbling for years? Snap a photo. By taking a picture, you preserve the story without having to carry the physical weight. And here's a bonus idea. Create a digital memory album. Label each photo with a little note. Maybe even record an audio message to go with it if you're tech savvy or have someone to help. You're creating a legacy, not just a pile of things, but a curated collection of moments that matter. It's easier to pass on, easier to revisit, and far less overwhelming for your future self or your family. 3. Let go. This is the hardest pile, but also the most liberating. There will be items you've held on to out of habit, guilt, or fear, not because they bring you joy, but because you didn't know what else to do with them. This is your permission to let go. Ask yourself, if I hadn't seen this today, would I have missed it? Do I feel peace, relief, or even lightness when I imagine this item gone? Am I keeping this out of guilt or obligation? If the answer points toward release, trust it. Letting go doesn't mean erasing your past. It means freeing your present. It means recognizing that your worth, your story, your relationships are not stored in dusty boxes. They live in your heart, in your memories, in how you show up today. And if you're struggling with a particular item, here's a gentle technique. Thank it, then release it. Say, "You served your purpose. Thank you." Then place it in the let go pile with grace, not guilt. You might feel emotional. That's okay. Feel it. Breathe through it. Let it move through you. Because the reward is real. More space, more clarity, more peace. A home that reflects now, not just then. Bonus tip, don't rush. Take breaks. Sip tea. Play soft music. This isn't a race. It's a process of emotional renewal. Whether you go through 10 items or 50, you're moving forward. You're honoring your life by choosing what still fits the version of you today. And if you get stuck, that's okay. Pause. Come back later. Sometimes the act of simply deciding to sort is more progress than you realize. Remember, you're not alone in this. Many seniors struggle with the emotional weight of decluttering, but you are also uniquely positioned with the wisdom, the perspective, and the strength to do this with grace. You're not just organizing your space. You're curating your legacy. You're keeping what truly matters. You're photographing the moments you want to revisit. And you're releasing the rest with love, not loss. One item at a time, one memory at a time. And with each decision, you reclaim a little more peace. Step 3. Use the "would I display this?" rule. By now, you've chosen a small, manageable starting point and sorted your items into 3 simple piles. Keep, photograph, and let go. But what happens when you reach those in-between items? The ones that tug at your heart, but leave you unsure? The things you don't love, but feel hesitant to part with? That's where this rule comes in. And it's simple. Would I proudly display this? If the answer is no, then it's time to take a deeper look. Because the things that matter most, the ones tied to the memories, values, and people you cherish, deserve more than to live in a dusty box in the back of a closet. They deserve to be seen, honored, and appreciated. Why this rule works? As we get older, our time, space, and energy become even more precious. Every drawer, shelf, and corner of our home should serve a purpose: comfort, beauty, peace, or joy. But too often, we hang on to items that don't do any of those things. They simply linger, cluttering our homes and weighing on our minds. The "would I display this?" rule helps you get brutally, but lovingly, honest with yourself. Think of it this way. If you wouldn't hang that old photo on your wall, if you wouldn't place that souvenir on your shelf, if you wouldn't share that keepsake with your grandkids and say, "This meant a lot to me," then why are you still holding on to it? Sometimes we keep things because we think we should, because someone gave it to us, because it once meant something, even if it doesn't anymore. But just because something had meaning in the past, doesn't mean it still belongs in your present. The truth is, if you wouldn't proudly display it, if you wouldn't choose to see it daily, then it might not be worth the space it's taking up. Not just the physical space, but the mental space too. Now, think about the opposite. Imagine walking through your home and seeing only the things that bring you joy. The wedding photo that makes you smile, the quilt your mother made by hand, the book your father used to read to you at bedtime. Imagine how different your home and your heart would feel if everything you kept had a place of honor, not just a place of storage. That's the power of curating your space with intention. Because here's the truth. When everything is special, nothing really stands out. But when you choose only the items that still move you, inspire you, or ground you, they start to shine. And you do too. How to apply the rule. As you hold an item in your hands, pause and ask, would I display this in my living room, bedroom, or hallway? If someone visited me today, would I want them to see this? Does this still reflect who I am now, not just who I was then? If the answer is yes, fantastic. Keep it, frame it, hang it, put it somewhere you can enjoy it regularly. Let it add to your life, not hide in the background. If the answer is no, ask yourself why. Is it guilt? Obligation? Fear that you'll forget? None of those are good enough reasons to let an item take up your space and emotional energy. If you're on the fence, here's a helpful, in-between step: photograph it and write a note about its meaning. Then let the object go. You still keep the memory, but you free your physical space. Let's look at a few real-life examples. Old gifts you never liked. That decorative plate from a distant relative? The figurine you never wanted but felt bad throwing away? If it's been sitting in a box for 10 years, and you'd never display it, let it go. You're not dishonoring the giver. You're respecting yourself. Blurry or duplicated photos. We often keep entire boxes of photos we'll never frame, never share, and barely recognize. If you wouldn't hang it or include it in an album, why are you keeping it? Tattered clothing or textiles. The sweater from your college years that no longer fits, or the tablecloth your aunt gave you that you never liked. If it's not being used or proudly displayed, it's time to thank it and release it. This rule isn't about perfection. It's about peace. You're not trying to create a showroom. You're curating a home that reflects the life you love now. You deserve surroundings that bring you comfort, pride, and peace. And that means being selective about what you allow to stay. The objects you surround yourself with should uplift you, not trap you in the past or clutter your energy. And when you let go of the items that no longer serve you, you're not erasing your story. You're editing it, so the most important parts stand out. Let this be a gentle filter, not a harsh judgment. The "would I display this?" rule is a guidepost to help you reconnect with what truly matters, what you love, what makes you smile, and what feels like you. So as you move through this process, keep asking, does this deserve a place in my space, or just a place in my memory? When you choose to surround yourself with only what you'd proudly display, you're not just decluttering. You're redefining your home, your energy, and your legacy, one meaningful item at a time. Step 4. Honor what you keep. By now, you've done something many people avoid for years. You've started letting go. You've faced the emotional weight of your past with courage. But here's the next crucial piece. Don't just declutter, honor what you keep. You've chosen items that still hold deep meaning. That's important. But keeping them isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new relationship with them. These pieces of your life deserve more than a box buried in a closet or a drawer you never open. They deserve to be acknowledged, respected, and loved, not hidden away and forgotten. So how do we do that? Give your memories a place of honor. Ask yourself, what message am I sending to myself when I stuff precious things in a dusty bin and never look at them again? If something is worth keeping, it's worth treating with care. Here are 3 simple but powerful ways to honor the items that make it into your keep pile. 1. Create a dedicated memory box. Pick a beautiful, intentional container, not just an old cardboard box taped together with years of neglect. Choose a memory box that feels respectful, even sacred. Something that says, "This matters." Inside it, place only the most meaningful items. A letter that made you cry. A photograph that still takes your breath away. A small keepsake that represents a turning point in your life. Let it be a curated space, not a dumping ground. And don't forget to revisit it from time to time, not just to remember, but to reflect on how far you've come. These boxes aren't for hiding your past. They're for honoring the journey that got you here. But wait till you see what I found tucked in this envelope. A note from my daughter when she was 9. I had forgotten all about it. Reading it brought tears to my eyes and reminded me why this process matters. 2. Frame or display the items that still speak to you. Some memories are so strong, they deserve a place in your daily life. If you have a photo, certificate, letter, or small object that brings you joy, display it proudly. Hang it on the wall. Set it on your dresser. Put it on a shelf where you'll see it often. These are not just decorations. They are affirmations of your lived experience. They remind you of who you are, what you've survived, and what still matters. Too often, we treat our most meaningful memories like they're too fragile for the world. But the truth is, you've lived a full life. And that life deserves to be seen. This next item broke my heart, but I finally let it go. I kept the photo, wrote down the story, and now it lives on in a frame by my reading chair. Every time I look at it, I feel peace instead of pain. 3. Write down the story behind the item. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself, and for your loved ones, is to give your items context. The truth is, the things we keep only hold their meaning if we remember why we kept them. That tiny pin, that worn-out recipe card, that keychain from a long-ago road trip. Write down the story. A few sentences. A quick memory. Why it matters. Who gave it to you. How it made you feel. What chapter of your life it represents. Better yet, create a legacy journal or digital document where you list these items and their meaning. You're not just keeping an object, you're preserving a story. one that your children or grandchildren can understand, one that you can revisit with clarity and love. You may find that the act of writing the story is more meaningful than the object itself. And in some cases, after writing it down, you may even feel ready to let the item go because now the memory is safe, permanent, and recorded. This is where decluttering becomes healing. When we honor what we keep, we shift from just organizing to healing. We're no longer clinging or avoiding, we're connecting. We're no longer overwhelmed by the past, we're integrating it into our present. Too many people let their most meaningful memories sit buried in storage bins, only to be discovered by someone else long after they're gone. But you're choosing something different. You're choosing to say, "This mattered. It still does. And here's how I'll remember it. With care, with pride, and with peace." And if you're wondering, what if it's still hard? That's okay. Sentimental decluttering isn't a straight line, it's a gentle curve. Some items will hit you harder than you expect. That's part of the process. Let yourself feel. Let yourself pause. Let yourself be proud that you're even here, doing this work. This isn't just about clearing space. It's about taking ownership of your life's narrative. About choosing what part of your past you want to carry forward and how. So the next time you pick up an old letter or trinket, don't ask just, "Should I keep this?" Ask, "How can I honor this?" And if the answer is, "I'll put it where I can see it," or write down its story, or keep it in a box I open with joy, then you're doing it right. Because honoring what you keep isn't about holding on. It's about giving your memories the space and attention they truly deserve. Final thought. You've made it through one of the hardest parts of the process. You've sorted. You've let go. And now, you're keeping the best and giving it a place of honor in your life. Not buried, not forgotten, but seen, appreciated, and loved. Because you are seen, you are appreciated. And your story, every chapter, is worth keeping. Now let's keep moving. There's more peace ahead. This postcard, it was from my son's first trip abroad. I kept it for over 20 years. Every time I looked at it, I remembered how proud I was, how grown up he sounded in his short message. For a long time, it felt too precious to part with. But recently, as I held it in my hands again, I realized something. He doesn't even remember sending it. The memory was mine, not his. And I was the one holding on. So, I took a photo of it. I texted him a short note. "Found this today. Remember your trip to Spain? I still smile thinking about it." He wrote back something sweet, but simple. And in that moment, I understood something I hadn't before. I didn't need to keep the paper to keep the memory. I let it go. And surprisingly, I didn't feel sad. I felt lighter. Like I'd finally given myself permission to move forward without guilt. If you're holding on to something just because you feel you have to, not because it brings you peace, maybe it's time. Take a photo, share the story, and release it. You're not erasing the past. You're making space for what matters now. Here's the box before, packed, chaotic, and heavy, not just with objects, but with emotions I hadn't touched in years. Every time I opened it, I felt overwhelmed, like I didn't know where to begin. So I closed it, again and again. But today, I finally went through it. Slowly, gently. I chose what truly mattered. And now, just a few deeply meaningful pieces remain. And a whole lot of peace. I didn't lose the memories. I honored them. I let go of what no longer served me. And in doing so, I made space for clarity, for calm, for now. Because decluttering isn't about erasing the past. It's about choosing what comes with you into the future. What's one sentimental item you're struggling to let go of? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And you might inspire someone else who's going through the same thing. If this helped you feel a little lighter, give it a thumbs up. And if you're ready for more simple, heart-centered resets after 60, go ahead and subscribe. We're on this journey together, one meaningful step at a time.